Working the door at a bar one evening, I saw a young woman walk in, her face drawn and clearly upset. She handed me her ID, and I took a moment to ask if she was all right. Her reply was short and unconvincing. "Yeah, I'm good." She snatched her ID back and hurried past me into the bar. I watched her disappear into the crowd, uneasy about her emotional state, but unable to do much more at the time. Hours later, she reappeared, this time in much worse condition. She was barely able to walk, her legs wobbling, as she clung to the arm of a guy I'd never seen before. She struggled to make her way down the 5 steps leading out of the bar. At that moment, a cab pulled up to the curb. Seeing her like this, I couldn't shake the feeling something was off. I stopped them before they could leave and asked the guy, "How do you know her? What's her name?" He looked startled and after a moment, admitted, "I just met her. I don't even know her name." That was all I needed to hear. I told him flat out, "I can't let you take her with you." He stood there dumbfounded as I helped her back into the bar, leaving him on the sidewalk next to the waiting cab. I guided her to a booth and sat her down. With her help, I unlocked her phone and managed to call a friend to come and pick her up. When her friend arrived, I explained what had happened, and she took her home safely. About 45 minutes later, a young woman approached me at the door, clearly having seen what went down. She smiled and said, "That was the nicest thing I've ever seen. I like you. What's your name?" "Jason." I replied, caught a little off guard by the compliment. She looked me over and then asked, "How old are you?" 35. I answered. "Good," she said with a smirk. "Your D still works." I blinked, surprised by her bluntness. Before I could respond, she added, "Where do you live?" "Springfield." I replied, naming a town about an hour and 15 minutes away. She gave a little pout and said, "That's far? Do you mind having intercourse in the car?" Her boldness threw me for a loop, but I gave her my number anyway. She was fun for a while, though it didn't last long. Recently divorced, she had her own issues to sort through, and I was still figuring things out myself.